Record. All right, so we're already recording. I just made that up. Hello. So hey guys, we're gonna do a real quick overview of what we were doing last time. So first off, if you click on in Blackboard, our course. Hello. Oh wait, I already know you. Yes, Chad. Okay, yeah, we're good. So when you click on the Blackboard course, the main thing that I want you to know is My Math Lab, and then you click Access Pearson. This is how you get registered for the course. This is how you do your homeworks normally. This is everything you need to do. There it is. Cool. When you click on it, you come up to something like this. We're going to do course content, chapter 1, 1.1, and that's kind of like the homework section that we already did in the workbook. Okay, we did that in the workbook last time. What I want to do is I want to do a little bit more workbook stuff, but then I want to go back to the homework and just kind of go back and see, can I remember some of this stuff? Does this look familiar? You know what I mean? Or is it different? So I want to do that, not just yet, though. I want to do a little bit more workbook first. But are y'all cool with where to go, what to do? Any questions so far? Okay. So we're starting here in 1.2, and I have to fill in these blanks, and then we're going to start talking about it. I have to say, I talked to one of the other professors, the one that like made this workbook. She's like a stats master, and I said, "How do you get the students to like participate more?" Because all I've been saying is hearing is yes, Chad. That was a joke. See, that was a joke. And she told me that not everyone reads as fast as you, Chad. You're a fast reader. Stop it. And so, what I'm going to try today is to have y'all like read it for a few seconds, minutes, and then kind of like give me what you think afterwards. And that's going to be a good thing, I think. So that was the thing. So let me write up what these are, and I'm going to talk about it, and then y'all are going to start reading here in a second. Explanatory. Uh-oh. Hopefully my handwriting is not too bad. And then this is response. Okay. There's the fill in the blanks. So the main thing that we're going to be talking about is experiments versus observational studies. And let's first start thinking about observational. What does that mean? Observing. You tell me, what does observing mean? Perfect. Just watching something happen, just looking, not touching it, right? Not altering it, not changing anything. You're just looking. And I'm going to write that on the side. I like that so much. I'm going to do that as the Chad definition. You're just looking. You're just looking. You're not doing anything about it, okay? Therefore, the opposite of that would be an experiment. So you tell me, what do you think experiment would then be? What's the opposite? Yeah. Yes. So you're changing stuff, right? You're changing stuff. I'm going to give you like a brief example, just talking. An observational study is like you go into the Amazon to go and see some ants, some ant colonies, you know, the big old tall ones that are like creepy crawly ones, and you're just looking at them. I ain't messing with them ants. You know what I mean? That's observational study. If I went there to the Amazon and looked at the ants and I started tossing sugar cubes at them, or maybe I stepped on their ant pile, now that's an experiment. Are they going to start biting or what? So yeah, just looking, or are we changing stuff? You get me? That's the main thing here. As far as this explanatory and response variables, it's really like what you're starting with and what you're ending with. Okay, so I'm going to say start and your end. And so what you're doing and then what you're going to see out of it in a way. But I want to go and read some of this stuff first. Are y'all okay with what we have here? I can scroll or not scroll. So, oh yeah, picture time. Yeah, already with the pictures. Okay, hold on. That was great. Thank you. Yeah, explanatory, that's start, and then responses end. Start and end. Yeah? Okay, good. Good question. Yeah, of course. Let me show you. So if you go, not through Pearson, but back on Blackboard, if you go to student resources, that's the exact one right there. Yep. And then you have the tablet, you can just pull it right up and draw on it, right? Yep. Cool. Awesome. So here we go. The first one, actually, there's two of them side by side. I want y'all to read this, and I'm going to try to be patient. This is in algebra class. I call it I do, you do, we do. So I would do something, and then y'all do something, and then we kind of talk about it together. So this is the you do part. I want y'all to kind of read those, write something down. Tell me what you think here in a minute. We're saying, is it observing or is it experimenting? What are we changing? What are the results? You know, that kind of stuff. So I want y'all to read that. It's very hard for me to be up here patient. But this is the good part about class. And this is where you would say, yes, Chad. I think, like, I was told that because I know these problems so well, often I go, blah, 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 here's the important information. But y'all haven't seen them so many times, right? So I need to let y'all kind of read and, you know, think about it. It's a good thing. It's growing brain muscles. And we don't have to have a perfect grasp. It doesn't have to be correct. Just want to see what you think here. Let's do like 30 more seconds. Just 30 more seconds. What are you thinking here in a minute? You know? Y'all don't even know how hard this is for me. Y'all saw me last time, right? Y'all were like, bro, this guy is crazy. You could probably read that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You can probably get that from my YouTube video, but now all of a sudden it's quiet. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. This is still being recorded, right? All right, good. All right. Okay. Y'all good? Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, if we're going to say that this is an experiment or an observational study, which one would you say about this thing? Observational. Why? Okay, nothing's being changed. So if nothing's being changed, what are we looking for? Like, kind of like, what's the end? What's the results? What are the response? I guess you can almost say. What are the results? What's that response thing they were talking about? Okay. So definitely like brain tumor stuff, right? Yeah. And that's exactly my answer. It would be if you had brain tumor or not, basically. The like you're measuring it, and you're seeing if that's a thing or not. Yeah. Was there something that they were starting with, something that was in question? Like, are they just asking people, you got brain tumor, or was it related to something? The phones, exactly. So the start of it, kind of like that explanatory whatever we were talking about, would be the cell phone. So in the end, we're trying to say, does cell phone make brain tumor, right? You start with cell phone. Do you end with brain tumor? Does it make sense? Right. So that's how they would describe that stuff. So I'm only observing. What would it look like if this was an experiment, though? And like we'll get to that in a second. But what if this was an experiment? What would we have changed? As I twist my little mustache. What would you do if you wanted to change something? Not just watch, but change what was going on. What would you change? Okay, so you're changing the phones, right? Because that's the thing that we start with. Hello. And hello. Can y'all sign in at the computer? Just like wave the little mousy thing and then click your name. Well, click here, present. Don't if you click your name, it'll blow up. But if you click present, you're good. Thank you. So yeah, changing the cell phones, that would be an experiment. So okay, what about this guy down here? Would you say that this was an experiment or an observational study? What about the second one? What would you do here? Experiment? Anybody else? Did y'all read that far? Yeah? Experiment? Okay, experiment. Why? Right, right. It's how much radio frequency stuff they get, right? That kind of thing. They're splitting up into different groups, and we're starting to like pound them with radiation. That's why it's the mice, not us. So, yeah, experiment. So, if we're gonna say, hey, what would be the start of this thing? What would we say is the explanatory stuff? And then what would be the ending result of this thing? The response to it. So what's the start? What's the start? What do we start with here? Like, what's the things that we're changing? Yeah. So this radio stuff, and then what's the response? What's the you get out of it? What would it be? Again, yeah, you got it. Thank you for responding. Yeah. Um, brain tumor. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Are y'all getting it though? Because y'all are kind of quiet. I was like, it's like, hey. So I need that classical response. Are y'all okay with this? Oh, thanks. Just making sure y'all are still there. All right, cool. Good? Yeah, good to go? All right, I'm going to scroll. Here we go. So we need to fill in the blanks. I'm going to fill in the blanks here. Let's see. So this is confounding. Confounding. And then this is confounding. So it's the same thing twice. And then this is lurking. All of this sounds really creepy, by the way. Yeah, lurking. There. So yeah, confounding, and then lurking. And they're talking about variables in these particular cases. I don't know if that would be so much so that we have to talk about it, but since it's here a little bit, when we get to the homework, they're going to ask definition questions. They're going to say blah, 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 fill in the blank. And we're literally going to be looking for these things. The effects of two or more, blah, 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 not separated. You get me? That's why it's in the workbook. It's not so much that I have to talk about it because I don't think that's going to come up as much here. But on the homework, they'll just say, this is a definition, plug it in. Okie dokie. That's how I approached it, at least. And I didn't feel like I was lacking anything. So, yeah, write those things down, and we'll come back to this very quickly. Randomization, I think, is way more important. So randomization is, of course, making things randomized. But how do you do that? Like, let's just say that you wanted to randomly pick someone in this classroom. How would you do that? Just you tell me. There it is, the hat. And let me tell you, you did the perfect thing. Because my math lab, when you get to your homework, there will always be the options of a computer or a hat. I'm dead serious. That's the only options that work. So yeah, that's so funny that you said that. That's perfect. I think, is that coming up like here right now? Okay, that's like in another page or two. Yeah, it's on the next page. I have to write hats. So you put your name in a hat, you grab it, you're done. Perfect. Thank you. Cool, right? Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Thanks. Good. I'm gonna scroll. Here we go. So, next section. Well, because it was so fast, I just want to keep going. I feel like we have a pace going, And then after this one section, then I want to go back to the homework and kind of look at what we have. Okay. So the big things that we got here, of course, are some fill in the blanks. This one here should be representative, and then down here we have individuals that can be reselected. I'll explain all this in a second. And then this is individuals that once selected cannot be reselected. Okay. So I'm just kind of putting down some notes there. Okay. We're going to talk about different sampling techniques. This is just fill in the blank. I got to do it because that's what they're talking about. But the main idea is that we're wanting to get a sample that is representative of the population. Okay, so here's an idea. Here's a question. And I want you to think about it for a second. Is this classroom representative of CTC students? No? Why not? It is, but I can't ask every student, do you like pizza? What do you like to watch at night? You know, that kind of stuff. So could I just ask us and it's good enough? That's kind of my bigger question. Would this class be representative of CTC students? Generally, you say yeah? Yeah, generally maybe. Yeah, I know it's a good to be not perfectly sure, I would say. But yeah, this might be working. That might be working. What if this I'm going to use this classroom as representatives of the state of Texas? See, now we're starting to get a little bit weirder, right? I don't know about that. What about if I say this classroom, we're going to use this as representatives of humans on planet Earth? We're like one little small group, right? It's not as representative. And so that's the idea. We're trying to find a good representative group that's still small enough that I can, actually survey them, but not so big that, that it's too hard. Cool so far? I don't think this thing comes up very much. I mean, you could just know that you either select and you can go back in there and select again, or you don't. So I'm going to keep scrolling. All right, so these are the big ones. And the first one is simple random sample. Do you want to do MATH? Is that what you signed up for here in this class? MATH, right? That's what the class is? Yeah, you're not going to do it here. It looks like a lot of numbers there, Chad. You're not going to do math. No math here, okay, guys? I'm so sorry. This is one of the weirdest things ever, and I want y'all to work with me. I'm going to do this one. Y'all are going to do the next one. And I'm only going to do a little bit of it because it takes forever to do this thing. I'm trying to pick random numbers that are from 1 to 731, okay? And I want to pick those from this group here of these numbers. And they say that I need to start in the third row and the second column. And then I'm going to be going down the row. Okay, now this is going to be so strange, but you're going to have to bear with me, okay? This is actually on your homework. You ready? Keep your eyes on it. Here we go. Third row, second column. Are we in agreement that we're talking about this group right here, these folks? Okay, so far so good. And then I want numbers that are going to be less than 731. And I'm going to start picking 3-digit numbers that would work. So the very first thing I got is 719. Is that less than 731? So we're good. I'm going to write that down. So here I got 719. That's a legit number. I'm going to keep cruising. Do you see right here? It has a 6, 6, and then a 2. I need 3-digit numbers here. Is 662 less than 731? Here we go again. 662. So that's another legit thing there. 738. Is that less than 731? So here's how it will work. I want that one, but it's not going to work. So I have to just not have it. Keep going. 650. Is 650 okay? So we're good there. How about 004? Is that someone that could be less than that much? And you can see that this will keep going. And it is so weird to select 3 numbers at a time going down that row. I know. That's my face too while doing the homework. Show of hands. And this is just a survey, all right? This is just a survey. Show of hands. Who would use this method to randomize some numbers? Come on. Exactly. I think I like hats better. Because this is weird. But it is on your homework. There's 2 or 3 problems, and that's it. Okay, so I wanted to show you. I want you to attempt, not actually, if you don't get it right, hey, guess what? I got it wrong 3 times in a row. And I had to get told by the other professor, you're wrong. So I want you to try, though. I want you to try to do this one, okay? Using this here Just try it. Just give me like 3 numbers. That's it. Just find the first 3 numbers. Maybe 4 if you're really happy. I will do it with you in just a moment, but I want you to try. Read it very carefully, and then do what I did. It is on your homework. It is a legitimate thing. I wouldn't do this otherwise because it's weird. You want to know something? No, I'm going to tell you later. It's great. It's perfect. It's beautiful. You got this, guys. You got this. You totally got this. It's great. And rest assured, after this, I will go to the homework, even for this. I want to do this one with you in class, specifically. I know. Here's a small little secret. Oh man, I shouldn't tell y'all. Guess what? I got that one wrong for the 5th time now. What I did in the blue is all wrong. Oh no! But keep doing what you need to do. I'm dead serious because I want to show you something. I know you're thinking, man, Chad, you can't even get this one right. I know. Nobody can. So just try. See what you get. This one's at least a little better, I think. Just 3 or 4. I don't really care. I just want to see like what you might come up with. Okay, I want to see what y'all come up with. Give me the first number that worked. 540, and then 480, and then 540 again. Now this is an interesting proposal. So think about it like we're doing a lot of random numbers, right? And we want to pick people to have in a group. I can't pick the same person twice because then it get twice called, right? So I'd almost have to disqualify that one and then go to the next one, right? See how that's interesting? But that was a great call. See, that's perfect discussion. Sure. For just 520, you said, not 22. Sorry. So let me do it all over again. Did anybody else get those? Yeah. No. See, I didn't get them either. It's fine. Do you want to know what I got? I'll give you the answers. See, this was all wrong actually as well. But let me show you that all this is wrong too. Okay. I'm so sorry because we're gonna have to do this one together. These are the numbers I got up here. Let me do some more, just so that you don't feel bad because I totally messed up, and that's okay. It's okay to mess up and to think, why the heck are we doing this? So let me go back and do it all over again. Can I erase and start over again? Okay. I did not read very correctly. I have to remind you one more time. I got this one wrong 5 times already. Look, I'm going to do 10. And that's okay because we're going to figure this out together. It's not that I don't know. It's just that this is a terrible problem. So it says 3rd row. So I was pretty clear about that. But it said 2nd column. I thought they meant this. That looks like a column to me, right? They literally meant that number right there starting with the 9. It is, yeah. I know, right? So then here, let me show you my new process. Yeah, I know. I can't say it on the recording, but you can. So my first number technically would be 965, but that's not less than this number, so I can't use it. My next number would be 471. I can, yeah, that one I can. And then I got 966. And again, I can't use that one. And then the next one would be the 273. And that one's okay. You see how I'm getting them now? So, like, that was annoying. And I had gotten it wrong so many times because I didn't read this row thing. Over here, it's supposed to be by column. I have to go down now. Let me show you how that one's going to work. This one's just crazy. I'm going to use purple. So it says now first row, fourth column. So first row, fourth column. They mean starting here at the 3. Okay, so that's weird. And then, so I got this one, the 307. And then I have to go down. Yeah, now I have to go down. 4, 5, 7. And then I have to go down. Wait, I missed it there. There it is. So 5, 4, 5, 4, 7. I don't even know if I'm writing it down right. Yeah, I got it. And then they say start over up here. So 824. And that's not smaller. And then I got 873. And then you can't use that one either. And then the next one's 996. And you can't use that one either. I mean, we're going to keep going. This is crazy. So what I want to do is pause and say, huh? And then we're going to go and do the homework. I believe the homework's easier by this much, okay? But this is a perfect example of the workbook's fine, but we should go and do the homework together. Do you get me? Yeah, what's up? I'm just a teacher. I know. Yeah. Let me scroll on. This is a very short section. Actually, no, it just got crazy. So what I want to do, I want to go to the homework right now. Is that okay? And if you don't mind, can we start with this one first, since it's fresh on our brains? And then I'll work backwards and do the other ones. So let's do that. I'm going to pull up the homework, which this one in particular is 1.3. And then you click here on the homework and it should pop up. Now, it's not going to pop up on my computer. Unfortunately, it's broken. So just give me a second here. Give me a second here. 1.3 homework. And I want to do it with you. So and you're going to help me because obviously I make mistakes. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of definitions. We'll get to the other ones here in a second. Let me see if there's going to be. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do the random numbers one. Give me a second here. Hold on. Nope. Where's the random numbers one? Is it all not there? Where's my random numbers one? They don't have a random numbers one here. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm in the wrong section. What section am I in? Let's try 1.4. The workbook it's good, it's organized, but at the same time, this doesn't look like it's it either. Give me a second to look for it. Yeah, this is not it. I'm looking for random numbers. Where are they, guys? These are great questions. I'm going to go through all of these with you here in a moment, and I love them. But this is there it is. There it is. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. That's actually not random numbers. Okay, give me a second. This is still not it. 1.2? Surely not. I thought that it was the 1.3, but maybe I was just getting in the wrong place. Yeah. I don't see it. Okay, back to 1.3. Okay. I hope that here's another thing. I actually did all of these homeworks and I got a 100% on all of them. I can't show you that because then I have to show you my score, and that's against school policy, right? But that was a joke. But I have done all of them. I think it must be part 2 or something because I don't know. No, I want my random numbers. Okay, give me a second here. Let's just try this one. I have a bunch of books, okay? And it says which of the following would produce a random sample. So let's just talk about these. So this is what we're talking about. We just got a bunch of books. And we're going to toss them in a hat. Am I right there? So let's see. List the names, alphabetical order, first 3 of the list. Is that going to give me a random sample? List each book on a separate piece of paper, put them in a hat. We just talked about hats, didn't we? Number the books from 1 to 9, use a random number generator, and then ask somebody their opinion. Is that going to be random numbers? Probably not. Okay. Man, where are my random numbers that I'm looking for? I know I saw them on the homework. List the digits from a random number generator using technology. Okay. I feel kind of sad because I wanted to do crazy stuff here with you guys. So if we're going down the list here, you see how it says 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 2, 0, etc. Well, they're saying it pick those books in that order. So 3 would be, okay, 6 would be the sun, and then 3 again? Can I do that? Can I pick it twice? Okay, yeah, so I can't do that. 6 again? 3 again? What's the next one then? So, pride, sun, death. That sounds kind of eerie. Okay. Was I guess that's just how it is there. Is that okay? I'm going to keep moving. Let's see another one of these. Ah, I had to click on it. There it is. There we go. We're going to do this now. Here it is. Here it is. All right. So it says, how do you get a random set of stuff? Do you list all the names and pick the first 5? How about you list them out in a hat and you pick 5? Hats. They're always random. For some reason, they're always random. Use a random number table. Is that random? Let's call it, yeah. And then you ask somebody what they like. No. So they're saying obtain a sample for these numbers that are 482 or less from this thing. And they say start in the first column in the first row and work down. Okay, so here we go together. I'm looking for numbers that are 482 or less. So the very first number that I see up in the top here is 748. Does that work? That does not work. So I have to go to the next one. 373. Does that work? So I need to put that one down. Comma. How many do we need? Did they say? Use this. 5 students. Okay. 596. Is that going to work for us? 592. 434. That's less than this. So let's write that down. Is this a little bit easier than the workbook? Okay, I hope so. 310. Is that okay? We're almost there. 036. Is that less than 482? Okay. Last one, hopefully, 075. Bingo! No, I'm just playing. That was a joke. Do y'all play bingo? Oh, really? Okay. And it worked. It worked. So, are you seeing that this is at least a little easier than the workbook? I think the workbook overdoes it sometimes. I think there's one more like this, and I want to do it with you, okay? Let's, yeah, there's one more. Let's do this one together. Is this random? It's not going to be random numbers yet. I think we're going to do something else with it. So here we go. They want to say, how do you get a random vote again? So we're going to vote for 4 members and select 4. List each of them, put them in a hat. Every time. Random number table. And then list them out alphabetically. No. So those are the 2 they always want. The hat, and there it is. There's your numbers. See, I knew it was in this section. I just had to go to the next click. Okay. So are y'all okay with the hat and the random number table? Right? Okay, good. So here we go. We got all these guys, and they're saying we want numbers between 1 and 25. How many digits are we going to look at? 2 digits. 2 digits. So we're going to go 2 digits, and it says you're going to start in the first row, each column, and does it say go down? Yeah, go down. Just like we did last time. Again, much easier than the workbook. Here we go. The first one I get is 97. Is that less than 25? 92. 12? Okay, 12. Hold on. I want to write that down somewhere. You write it down somewhere. 12. I can't write it down because there's nothing here. 85. 01. That works. 03. Okay, so how many do we have so far? So we have 3 different numbers that work so far? Okay, but they say they want 4. So I have to go one more, and so I'm going to go all the way back up, But now, do you see how I'm starting right here? 0, 3. Well, technically that works, but we can't duplicate it, right? Didn't we already have a 0, 3? So we can't use that. We got to keep going. 83, 64, 34, 17. And so now you wrote it down for me. Thank you. Because I'm going to need to use them. I have to pull up that list one more time and see which ones we're talking about. So the first number was a what? 12. Lucans. Okay. The next one. The next number. Bolt. And the last number. 17 is Pollock. Okay. So is it this one right here, B? And there we go. And that was it. And you're literally done with this homework section. That was like the 2 ones that they're talking about. Is it easier than a workbook? Is it still annoying? Okay, good. So 2 questions, and that's it. As far as I can see. I'm going to go back up and check this other one problem, but I think that's going to be all that we need to do. Let me check these other ones right quick and see. So what does it mean when sampling is done without replacement? And so really, I have to go back to the workbook here, and we just wrote this one down. I'm going to reread it to you right here. So right here, without replacement, it means that you're once selected, you cannot be reselected, right? So let's go back to the homework. Which one would make sense for that? So once an individual is selected, the individual can be selected again? Right. So would it be B then? Again, once an individual is selected, individual cannot be selected again, right? That's the without replacement. Cool. Yeah, of course. I think that they're talking about a sample, which means a whole bunch of people, not just one person. So like you take the whole class and ask, and then you like dump the whole class out and try again. Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to say. And then let's do this last one here together. It might have a random number thing at the end. I don't know. We're going to try it. So, oh yeah, let's get this out the way for a second. Okay, how would we get a simple random sample? So first I want my hat. Which one's the hat? B. And which one's this random blah, blah, blah? D. Good. Awesome. Oh, okay, here we go. So I'm going to start going through the numbers and picking which ones. So we're starting with a 4, and then we get a 1, but then we can't have a 1 again. We can't have a 1 again, and then so we get a 0. I think that was only the 3. So which one would come first? Yep, Tale of Two Cities, and then Crime Punishment, last one. Oh, 0. We don't have a 0. 5, which is Jungle. Yep. So Tale of Two Cities, Crime Punishment, Jungle. Check it. We got it. And that's the entirety of this section. Let me like zoom out on this here. There's only 4 questions in this whole section about random numbers, and we just did it right here in class, all of it. Okay. So there's no surprises. Okay. This is your homework. This is what you'll see. This is what you'll do. Are you okay with that? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. If you have any questions at all, you tell me, and I'm okay with that, okay? Because I get confused too. I got confused on the workbook, and then I went back and I tried to do it, and it's fine. But even I mess up. That's okay. So I want to go back now to the other ones, and we're going to take a little bit more time because I get anxious with these numbers because they're really kind of But I think that if we go back to the normal homework ones where there's a whole bunch of like definitions, I'll show you kind of how to do the homework. So the very first homework section, 1.1, the very first question is, whoom. It's like, bam, you got all this? And this is where the workbook is going to come in handy. Okay, I'm going to basically scan through the workbook and try to find these definitions. Okay, so because I don't know them all, I have to kind of look. So it says blank is a numerical survey of a sample, and we got a ton of options. Do you see that? Organizing, summarizing data through blah, 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 blah. See, but this is the first stuff that we ever learned. So let me go way back, and I don't have them written down now, but I think that I'm going to like refill in the blocks and pages here. It's like this guy. Real quick, what I'm going to do is write the answers back in just a second, and then we're going to use these to get them. So this is statistics, and y'all, if you were here last time, this is exactly what we were doing. Just more of this population, sample, representative sample, and then individual. I'm going to just use these as a good guide for what we're going to do on the homework, what y'all are going to do on the homework. Okay, I'm waiting just for a second, just in case pictures or whatever, because I'm going to go back and forth with this in just a second, okay? So first off, you see it says science of collecting and organizing, summarizing stuff, right? Those words, right? You see those words right there? I think I saw them. So if I go back here, the organizing, summarizing of tables, graph, blah, 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 blah. So which one would I say goes in that box? Yeah, statistics. Do we have that? That should be in it. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, there's a science of collecting and organizing and blah, blah, blah. See how they're going to be picky. And so here it says literally the science of. And that's okay. It's okay because we have this now, don't we? So that's actually wrong. It should be this one is the statistics. So then what is it here then is the organizing and summarizing of data? Maybe. But see, it's not in my list here. So maybe it's somewhere else. And it is. I'll show you in a second, okay? What are some other ones we've seen? A subset of a group of individuals, a sample, subset of the population. Okay, so we're going to see about that here in a second. Yep. The entire group of individuals. Is that somewhere? Entire group of oh, there it is. There it is. We got it. And this is your homework. This is how I would recommend doing it. We have a big list of things. It's all over the place. It's scattered, but this is it's like a training ground. This is what it is. A numerical summary of a population, a person or object of a member being studied. I'm looking for this subset of population. I want to see that subset of population, subset of the group of individuals being studied. What would you? Is that good enough? You think that's sample? I'm going to call it sample. Let's try that. Okay. I don't really know about the rest, but I want to see if I'm right. You know, I guess we can keep going. Let's keep going. We might come back to this. I don't know. Is there a person or object or member being studied? Do we have that somewhere? Oh, there it is, right there. So that's individual. So you can see, like, I'm trying to get all I can out of that box. Let's go to the next box. Is that okay? This is how you're going to do your homework, for the better or worse. This guy. Let me refill in the boxes again. I'm not going to go through every one of these forever, but I just want to remind you this is how it works. This is why we write this stuff down. This is why I wrote it down. So that's variable, that's data, that's parameter, and that is statistic. Okay. Variable, data, parameter, statistic. And we had talked a lot about P with P, S with S, but see how it says summary value of a population, summary value of a sample. Let's go and see if I can find like that wording somewhere, you know. Summary value, numerical summary of a what? So therefore it's a statistic, right? Sample statistic. Do we have another numerical summary of population? Very good. Very good. Very good. Parameter. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Organizing, summarizing data through tables and stuff. Do I have that somewhere? Okay. Information, observations, counts, responses. No, we only got the two left. Let's see if it's on another box, and I know it is. Right here. Here it is. Descriptive. And this is all from last time. I'm just making sure that we can finish this one problem. Inferential. So descriptive and inferential. So organizing, summarizing, displaying data. Wasn't that one of those options of there? I'm going to go back to it, okay? Organizing, summarizing something through data. There it is. So that's the descriptive. And so let's try the last one. It says involves methods for taking results and drawing conclusions. Do we have a draw conclusions here? Making methods and results measures reliability. I mean, it's the only thing we haven't really done, right? So I'm gonna think that one. It's the only one I haven't chosen yet. Let's check answer. We got it. That was question 1. That was question 1 of 22. I did not make this. I'm going to tell you, okay? Now, most of these going forward are actually just like a yes/no question, okay? But there are some of these. And are y'all now seeing how to use the workbook with your homework? That's going to be the important point. You've got to do your homework. I did my homework. I'll go and pull up my grade book, okay? I got a 100. If I saw I got it wrong, I did it again. You know how annoying that was? But I did it. Are y'all okay right now? I'm going to skip around a tiny. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, they have like the blank, and then you fill it in. And that's also why I'm recording right now. Cool. Yeah, and here's another thing. I don't mind if y'all take pictures. I have this every time, so you can come take pictures, and then you can fill them in or whatever you want to do. Cool. Very good. I mean, I took pictures of my supervisors, right? Because I needed to know if I was right. So here's another one, same style, okay? But it's the same style. I know that y'all can do that. Let's keep cruising. See, this one here is just one multiple choice, and we're done. So let's go through some of these. I want y'all to read that one for a second, and I want to see what you come up with in a minute, okay? This is going to be like the you do. You read it. You tell me here in just a moment. It's super hard for me to be patient. Okay. What do you think? Give me a letter. D? B. Okay, we got a B? B? B. Let's see it. So we got football game. Quarterback completes this many passes for a total of this much and this much. And you're saying statistic because it's only a sample of it. Let's hit it and see. What? And so let's talk about it. I think what's going on is that they're talking like a single quarterback has done this, and they're only looking at him. So let's try the other one. And you know there's only 2 answers here. And it's good that y'all notice that, because it's sample statistic or it's parameter population. It's got to be one or the other. So why was it a population in this particular case? Because they're not talking about every quarterback. They're saying just this one guy, and that's it. He himself is the population. Isn't that so weird? But this is your homework, and that's what we're talking about. Now, if they said out of all of quarterbacks, this one, well, there you go. Then now it's a sample, okay? So what about this one? You know, it kind of comes down to like basically 2 options. It's just now we're going to have to see which of the words makes the most sense with those options. So first, I'm not going to ask which letter. Rather, I'm going to ask, is it population or sample? You think sample? Sample? So that's like a 50-50 shot so far. And then from there, I'm just going to try to pick the right one. So what do you think is the right letter? Which one would be the best sample one? Like sample statistic, right? So we got that much. You like A? A? We're going to try A. Try it. Okay. You like H? Let's try H. Now, I haven't even read it. I don't even know. So let me read one more time myself. So certain zoo found that 8% of its 843 animals were nocturnal. So when they're sampling the animals, did they only get some of the animals, or did they get all of the animals in the zoo? You see, of its, like of all of the animals, it's kind of like they're looking at all of them. All meaning population. Population parameter. Therefore, we're going to click a parameter one. So parameter, because it's all of these in the zoo, and there we go. It's kind of weird, isn't it? And that words, it's the words that try to get us. It's the words. It gets me too. But now, what if I got this one wrong? Wouldn't it be easy just to try again, right? Because this one's not too big. This one's just a one thing, and we're done. But y'all seeing this is your homework, right? Let's keep cruising. Let's do another one like this. I'm going to get this one wrong. At least I hope. I'm going to get this one wrong. I'm going to check answer, and it says, no, it's this guy. Well, for one thing, you can at least see what they have, okay? Without having to do any work, click, 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 click. I'm reading it, and that's what they have. Cool with that so far? Well, I can always do it again. It's a similar question right here. And did you notice? It didn't change. It didn't change. So if I had paid attention to what actually was the answer, I would have got it. All right, hold up. Let me try again. Okay, hold on. Nah. Okay, this time I'm actually going to pay attention, okay? Statistic, blah, 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 sample, right? Statistic, sample. You get me? Similar question? Now I had to change. Statistic, sample. Is it going to work this time? Oh! I'm playing with you guys. I'm playing like a game at this point. This guy right here, because it's really just down to two options. I want to go back to the other one now and see what it was. But I'm talking about the style, the setup here, the system. You can keep getting it wrong. You can keep going back and trying again. You get me? That's a good thing. That's what I was trying to show you just now. So we already saw the quarterback one, right? I want to get to the wash hands one because, I mean, honestly, that was kind of a creepy one. Okay, hold up. Average age of men who walked on the moon. There ain't a lot of men that walked on the moon, right? Not a lot. And they say the average of all of those men. They don't say the word all, but they mean it, right? So if they said all, I'm looking at a what? Population or sample? Population. Yeah, populate everybody. And if it's population, it has to be connected with parameter. P with P, S with S. See how that works there? I want to get back to the hand washing one. I want to see it again. No. Okay, something else. So, national survey of this. We got this many who were full-time, blah, 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 within the past month. So they're asking a survey, and they're saying these respondents, blah, 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 blah. Could they have asked literally every full-time college student between these ages in the entire United States of America? No way. So who did they ask? A sample. And therefore, we're going to get a statistic. Very good. So sample, statistic, that's my option there. There it is. Feeling me? Okay. So it's either everybody or it's only some of the people. You read this one. Just read it. You tell me in a minute. Okay. You're going to tell me population or sample? Population. Yeah. It says of all the 50 states or governors or whatever it was, right? So if it's a population, it needs to have a parameter. Yep. Very good. This is your homework. We're just going through it linearly, one by one. We've talked about this one. This is last time, and here's another thought. And I almost want to like take this and set it off so I can like sit down and talk to you guys. You know, but I want to record it as well. Sit down with you guys, right? Okay. How many other classes do y'all have? Is it not just this one, right? You have other classes, and then like so you're doing the workbook, and you're like, oh man, that's really cool, Chad. Cool, man. Peace out, bro. See you later next week. And then like you're going to go do your homework during the weekend, right? Saturday morning. Oh yeah, I love it. And then you're like, what? Am I correct? So we need to go back to the workbook always for the definitions, right? What are they talking about? Qualitative, quantitative. Man, it's been a while. It's been a while. So let me go back to the workbook, and surely I wrote that down somewhere, right? Qualitative. Oh, right here, right here. I know you can't see it. Just hold on. I'll be right there. Right here. This was qualitative, and this is quantitative, right? Basically, if you had written it down, I said this was mathy and this was not mathy. Did y'all kind of have something like that in the notes? Okay, cool. So see, I'm using the workbook so I can understand what I'm supposed to do with this homework. So I'm either saying math or not math. That's essentially what it comes down to. Driver's license class. Math or not math? Not math. So I'm going to say qualitative, right? Now, which qualitative would this make sense with? Yeah, attribute, blah, blah, blah. Definitely not numeric, right? Because that means math. Cool? I'm using the workbook to kind of see what I need to do. And that was it. That was just that one question there. Breed of dog, qualitative, quantitative. Qualitative. Which one then? Attribute. Once again, you got it. Excellent. Okay, next one. Cereal. It's cornflakes, duh. Oh, qualitative, my bad. I love cornflakes. Because I don't like the sugar, man. Sugar's too much. But cornflakes just perfect. No? You like grape nuts. That's what it is? Ah. Yeah, you start breaking your teeth, bro. What about age? Mathy, right? You can do math with age. I'm this old, you're that old. We can subtract or add or whatever you want to do with it. So which one is quantitative? Which one would we pick? Yeah, numeric, right? Numbers. It's quantitative because it has numbers in it. And not just numbers, but numbers we can do math with. Is this okay? I'm going to kind of skip ahead a little bit here. We've seen this. Whoa. I was going to start skipping, but this is brand new. Whoa, Chad, it's been a while, and I can't remember these two words. Good thing I have the workbook. Burp, burp, burp. So let me just rewrite these guys, though it's right in front of you. Discrete and continuous. There it is. You got it. This is whole numbers. Whoa, I can't spell whole at all. Whole numbers versus decimals. Yes. And by decimals, I mean kind of like not counting. It could be anything in between, that kind of thing. So discrete is whole numbers. Continuous is like decimals. So when I'm looking here, it says the number of people at your meeting. Whole number or decimal? It's a whole number, exactly. So discrete. Which one would I say then? Which one makes more sense by the definition? Yeah, discrete, countable. You see that, like count versus here it says uncountable. You see the difference? And that's why we have the workbook to kind of have those definitions. Discrete, countable. It's whole numbers. I can count them on my fingers, essentially. Okay? Population in a city. Be a lot of counting on the fingers. Still be discrete. I could still count them, even if it would take forever. Even if it take forever, I could still count them, right? I wanted to show y'all something about counting on fingers. Y'all think, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of thing? I can count, I think, up to like 64 or something on my fingers. You know how to do that? Oh no, I got something way better. But y'all can't turn me in. You got to promise you're going to sign a little note saying, I ain't going to turn Chad in. You ready? I'm gonna point this way a little bit, okay? So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you see it? You gotta use your middle finger. Yeah, it's binary. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But the joke was that, I'm going to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And it was just a joke. It was just a joke. I'm not, just a math joke. You ain't going to turn me in, right? Anyways, the height of a building. Can I count that on my fingers? Or is it something else like decimals? For sure decimals, right? Because it's 100 feet tall. But then is it really 100 or is it like 100.0129687? Because the little stone at the top. So yeah, continuous, not countable. I can't quite put those on my fingers. And this is your homework. So I'm going to just keep going. Oh, there's some more. Man, every time I want to stop, they got some good stuff again. But this is part of the homework, right? As soon as you're like, man, I got this, then it starts something else new. If you don't mind, I'd love to go back to this stuff too. So, hey, don't I have definitions for this? And this one's already written down for you. But I wrote down some notes for you. So let me real quick, I'm going to erase those, and I'm going to remind you some of these real quick things. So nominal was just names and labels. Ordinal has a rank or an order. Okay, the next one, interval. Do you remember what it had? What was distinguishable about that? Negative and positive. Very good. Negative, positive. And that could also mean AM, PM, or BCAD, right? So as long as it had like this negative, positive structure. And then ratio, only positive, no negative, 0 is nothing. Yes, very good. I love that. 0 is nothing. It's basically the end. This would be as in height of people, right? Because if I could be 50 inches, 20 inches, 5 inches, 0 inches, I'm not a person anymore, right? I could be 40 years old, 20 years old, 5 years old, 0 years old. You can't get any less than that. Good? So here we go. Let's go back to the homework. You're going to help me a little bit. So ranking of musicians. What would I use? Perfect. That's exactly right. Nation of origin? Just a name, right? Just a name. Very good. Next one. Oh, no, not similar question. Move on. Oh, well, might as well do it. Volume of water used by a house. Ratio, I believe. So it's definitely going to be a number, right? But can I use a negative amount of water? Very good. Next one. Oh, we already did that one. Keep going. And then as soon as you're comfortable, it just stops. Are we almost done? Oh my gosh, there's so much more. I'm not here to do all your homework with you, okay? But I do want to show how it works. I'm kind of confused on this. Can I read it with you guys? Or you can help me? It says, what's the population? Like, first off, I almost want to go right to the question and say, what do we got here? What are you asking? So population, they're saying, what's everybody in this particular case? So I'm reading and I'm looking and I'm pausing. So who is everyone? Go ahead. C, you like C? I'm going to click it. Yeah, great job. That was awesome. Yeah. So let's pause and talk about it. So polling organization asked this many female university graduates who have a white collar job. Like all of this right here is like their title, I guess you can say, right? And so then what would be the sample in this particular case? Yeah, those ones that we asked. Exactly. Oh, well. The other one then. It was the one with a number, right? For sure it's the one with a number. Yeah. So, oh yeah. See how they have to like, oh yeah, white collar job. White collar job. So they're lined up together. Okay. But it's the one with the numbers, right? Because that's the amount that we sampled. That was good though. That was good. We already did that one. Says what's the population? Again, we're looking for everybody. So hold on. I'm gonna wait just a second because this one's a little confusing at times. Y'all read it and tell me in a second. So everybody, everything. What would it be? You like B? For sure, the all, right? That helps a lot. Yep. And in this particular case, they're talking about specifically that time. So then samples which one? Yep, 70 bottles on that date. Very good. Same language, right? June 21st, June 21st, right? Just a number of those. Very, very good. Excellent. And as soon as we're comfortable, they switch it up. So this one's like 1 of 5. It goes into a lot of stuff. I can't remember exactly what I clicked, but I think that y'all can get through it. I want to keep going, okay? I remember it just being a longer one. Same kind of thing. We talked about this stuff. More definitions. But yet again, it's these kind of things. So we can probably get those after we just like read it carefully enough, right? And then we're done with that homework section. We only got a couple more minutes. What I want to do is just talk about that one section I haven't covered yet. Any questions before I move on? Okay. So right now what we're doing, I'm not going to do the homework like every single time, but I do want to do it, especially when there's something I see and I'm like, well, let's talk about it. Also, this is our first time kind of just exploring. What am I going to be doing at the house? This is what you're doing at the house. So again, and a lot of stuff here. And look, we talked about some of these today, right? Didn't I talk about the whole lurking, confounding thing? I didn't go too far into it, mainly because, let me go back. Oh, no, it's the other way. Mainly because all we're going to do is match it up. Where did it? Well, right here. So a study that occurs effects of 2 or more explanatory not separated. Which one would say 2 or more not separated? Is it the top one right here? That's the only one that I see like that. So that must be this confounding thing. And notice there's a difference between confounding and confounding variable. You see the difference? Because if I go back here, see I said confounding, and all of a sudden I circled it. Why did Chad circle that? Exactly. In the homework, they put those two things together. So lurking is a thing that was not considered in the study. So I want to say not considered in the study. There it is, right there. Not considered in the study. So that would be that lurking. Can we do that? Can y'all do that? Like when you get home, you know? I'm going to keep cruising. I want to see what else we got here in this section. We only got a minute or so. So observation versus experiment. We talked about that today. I'm sure that you can handle that one for sure. Another one. Okay, pause. Big timeout. And this is definitely, I have to record this one. Sometimes they're going to have this pop-up come up. And if you read it, it basically says you don't get to try this one again. Every single one of the homeworks you can try infinite amount of times. You can get it right every single time. But this one, you have to stop. And that's me too. I told you I got 100 on every single one of these. And that means that I stopped. And I looked at my workbook and I double checked and I triple checked before I actually hit submit, okay? Now, what if you get this one wrong? It's like this much of your grade, you know what I mean? It's like nothing. So don't worry about it, but try nonetheless, okay? So, and let's do this one together because I'm scared, but I want your help, okay? In statistical studies, researchers want to determine varying this or that and how they may impact this or that. Now notice, I think I saw those sometime in my workbook, right? Didn't I write those down somewhere? Let's go back. So, not there. Right here, look. We wish to determine varying amount of explanatory, the effects of response. Varying amount explanatory effects value response. Varying one or more explanatory, the variables impact response. Are you in agreement? Okay, I only get the one shot. Here we go. Final check. Okay. Whew. Now you know when you get to this problem, number 4 on your homework right here, this is what you need to do because it's not going to change. I only got a couple more. I just want to look through what we got here. So another one like that. So that's, again, observational study or experiment. And then finally another observational study experiment kind of thing. Any questions? Do you know what you can do now, even over the weekend? Not that it's required. When is this due? Is this due this coming Monday? No, it's like due in another week or two, right? So it's a while. But could you get started on this? Cool. Thank you, guys. See y'all later. Have a good weekend. Peace out, homies. That was on the recording.